Now, what don't you stand down?
You know, I trained every one of these men, right? Every one of them. So we'll just take out more of you than you will of us.
Be happy to test out that theory, bud.
Things have changed. You have to believe me.
When it was first announced that Madison would be returning to Fear the Walking Dead, I was happy. It felt like they were listening to any kind of criticism and feedback of the show. This was a card that they realistically could have always played, maybe not in the same way with Nick, but they had the balls to do it. They didn't care if it came off as cheap. They never have. And as I've said, I liked Madison, and I liked the actress even more, but the acting when she rejoined Fear wasn't great.
Where is she?
And they had sort of reduced this character to some oxygen tank gasping despicable woman. I don't even say despicable. While I have been entertained by some of the, you could say, silliness of Fear, it hadn't felt like the Fear that I and so many others loved for quite a long time. But it was good that they were getting the message, you know, injecting some of Fear's older self into what it is now since that soft reboot, since Dave Erickson left, the showrunner of season 3, and passed it on. But even as the final season went on, I gave the benefit of the doubt, and I just enjoyed that they had actually brought Madison back. Even better when they revealed that Troy was coming back, one of my all-time favourite Walking Dead characters, one that I thought died way too soon and had so much left to give. The eventual and very obvious big crossover of the Walking Dead shows is something that I've always seen as inevitable, even before the recent quote by Scott Gimple saying that he hopes there will be that endgame type crossover. So I was really excited when they brought Troy back, and so grateful they had understood that character and appreciated him enough to bring him back and potentially involve him in that bigger Rick Grimes story. This eccentric anti-hero character. What an amazing idea to have the balls to bring him back from what was a almost certain fate at that dam. I was thoroughly enjoying the penultimate episode. We saw Madison and Troy, these two characters that had all this history in Fear. They don't like each other, but by the end of the episode, they forgive each other. It was all going so well. But then this scene happened where the camera was all shaky and handheld, like something was going to happen, but it was just Madison and Troy talking. I was ready to forgive all the mishaps, all the bad times in Fear, because they had done something so great to bring Troy and Madison back. Then I was reminded that Fear the Walking Dead, since after season 3, has just been good ideas, no good execution.
Things have changed. You have to believe me.
Unless, of course, we're talking about executions of their best characters. When I tell you I was speechless, I was enjoying the episode so much, but they were that stupid. I didn't even think they were that bad enough to kill him again, even worse this time. It's taken me a while to record this because my words don't do it justice, how insulting it is. They really think Madison is that good. I understand if you like the last episode, if you like Alicia, but after this, I didn't care about all that. It doesn't even feel like she was in character. Yeah, walk out, because the girls on Twitter love her. Yeah, the teenagers, yeah. I'm pretty sure the writers of the Walking Dead shows get their feedback from Twitter, by the way, because they probably didn't even think anyone liked Troy, because people that like Troy aren't rotting on Twitter every day. Yeah, as long as we get that Alicia thing at the end, yeah, they love it. Guess what? I'm no teenage girl. This is where all those benefits of doubts that were given previously are thrown out the window, because Madison continued to have the acting skills of a 10-year-old while she was killing Troy, like some iCarly villain.
It's just a Troy. I don't.
At first I was like, oh, well, she just got back into it, she might have forgotten how to play her. But no, she's killed Troy and she's still being jittery, like one of Jesse Pinkman's best customers. If you're gonna have one of these characters die, you probably shouldn't have killed the most likeable, most interesting character in the show.
I'm done with second chances. Troy was right. It's what got Alicia killed. That's why I had to do this. If I didn't, I'd be putting you all at risk. This is how we survive. This is how Padre survives.
And that's it. Fear the Walking Dead's final message before finishing, the very end of the show, is no second chances. What a lovely, inspirational message from Fear once again. Look at the end of the main show, you've got Negan, who did 10 times worse than Troy. He gets his own show. You get the protagonist's son dying to have that message go on, that you shouldn't kill, that you should have second chances, that you can redeem yourself. And good on Negan, it's because he's a good, cool character. But Fear, no, we don't do that. No second chances. That's what we do here, we kill people people that have more personality than all of us. In the end, this is what Fear had to offer. They had every chance in the world, every possibility to be better. What is the point of a crossover if the characters that are crossing over are much less interesting than the ones you've killed off? And of course, the ultimate thing that will happen to every Walking Dead character you love. Why did Troy die?
For Tracy, like you fought for Nick and Alicia.
For a kid. They did it. Who he said was Alicia's daughter, then it wasn't, because he lied. That's why he died, by the way.
Why would I do anything you say?
Because she's not my daughter.
Serena's not Tracy's mother. Who is?
Alicia.
I never had a kid.
You're not my mom?
No, I'm not.
Michonne's kid that she spawned off screen, RJ, literally called Rick Jr. because he's going to replace him. Morgan and Mo, the mute girl in Dead City who's, I forgot her name because I don't care. Laurent in the Daryl show. Rosita for Coco. And now this Tracy girl for Troy. The list goes on.
I was looking for you all night. I love you, Dad.
It's really hard to watch, you know, and you've put this poor girl on TV. It's not even her fault. You know, she can go on and be amazing, but this was so bad. And when you have Troy die, and it's all so that this girl can go on, it's just, what a disaster. It's like in every show, it's blaringly obvious what's going to happen and why they're there. They're just adding kids for that ending, for the new generation, for that message, you know, and they're sacrificing the show. They're sacrificing the good characters so that can happen, and I just completely disagree with it. You know, it's gone past a joke now. The final message for Fear is a warning, and it's a warning that you're going to need to heed. So let's get into the video. Of course, before we do, make sure you press the like button and make sure you subscribe if you're new. So let's start with Strand and where he will actually end up. Of course, just like The Walking Dead, in fact, twice as much, these characters will go on. And I couldn't help but notice how Strand, ever since that general storyline, where he literally played a villainous general, dresses like a villainous general at the CRM. So yeah, I think he will clearly end up there. That thing with him being in the helicopter is really cool. I'm a massive advocate for stuff like that. But again, way before that, with his villainous storyline, with him always feeling out of place, all it takes now is for him to end up at the CRM, and with him possibly even moving up for his German friends here, especially with Althea flying away and not appearing. You can't really see the end of a Walking Dead show as the end. This was the first time that I found Strand tiring. Usually, no matter how bad the writing is, he's always a highlight because he's such a good actor. You could give him the biggest Hannah Montana thing you can find. He will always come out on top and sound good. He will look good. But this awful story of him pretending to be this German to these German people, I don't care. Like, of course, they survive at the end to go on into the bigger story.
I don't know if people like us can act differently.
You've been acting differently for the past 6 years. But no, this was quite a good last scene for them, at least on Fear. As far as Daniel, yeah, of course, I think we're going to see him again. He says he's done with war, but I think that's when we're next going to see him in that big crossover. And Daniel, although tired of it, will be on the way to fighting another war. And it is good that he at least lived to see that. But yeah, it's good that they made peace on Fear. Strand also got closure at the end because he saw them all standing there like, yeah, they all lived, I'm happy, knowing that they're okay. Closure. Then you get the thing of Charlie coming back. Again, I'm not going to pretend to, oh, I feel bad now. Oh, she was shite in the first place. I'm glad she died. I did think it was weird that they killed Grace and Charlie. Like, that's unusual for them. Killing their own characters off. They sent Althea off to the big CRM storyline, so that's nice of them. Turns out it's just because they had her in the pipeline. They don't need Charlie. They don't need to have Grace live or Charlie live. They've got Tracy and all these boring German people. Not because they're German, of course. Shout out to Werner Ziegler. Luciana is an utter NPC now.
Madison, you died a long time ago.
Tengo años buscándote.
Encontrate.
She used to be so good. She had this character to her, but just awful. Fucking PlayStation 3 video game NPC. And I don't put that down to stuff she's been through in the apocalypse. I put it down to her having the personality of a fork. Then you had, similar to what Morgan did by going back to King County, is Dwight goes back to the Sanctuary, and in a similar way, it closes his Walking Dead story arc, so he's ready for the next phase of the Walking Dead story after, of course, Fear. So they blow it up, but at the end he wants to go back there. You see this a lot in this second half. It had all the potential, all the possibilities to be so much more than this. There were so many cool things that could have happened, but again, with Fear, no. They just give you all the tools to imagine what that could be. You know, and there's these massive massive big swings at trying to be profound, but it doesn't work. It's just silly. Unwarranted silliness, because it's not good. If it's silly, it can still be good, but it's not. One of the worst things was when they put Alicia's necklace in a magazine, and the bullet went into the magazine, into the necklace, and it saved her. What kind of 9-year-old wrote that? And June says she's going back to that hut that John was staying at. You could call that full circle moment, or you could call it going back to insanity. The whole point was that she gets out of there. Yeah, again, I'm surprised this character got to go to the sanctuary, and in the last scene it was literally all about her, like, yeah, I've gotten over that thing in my life now. Well, I don't give a shit. It's the final season of Fear. I don't care. And I can't believe this girl from Padre is still kicking about. I think it's laughable that they've called Padre now Madre because of Madison. I just think it's so stupid. So at the end, Alicia and Madison and Tracy, Troy's daughter, they talk about heading to LA, which is irritating because it just further prolongs that crossover. To be honest, I think it's about 4 to 5 years away from that right now. You know, they've put them in LA. There's going to be more obstacles, more NPCs, and probably, hopefully, CRM stuff. I don't blame them for having more spin-off shows and more seasons of those shows. You know, it's a business. AMC obviously want to make money. It's not actually a bad thing. But, you know, you've got these 3 just empties heading to LA of all places. It's not for me already. I would love if they just had Troy there instead of Tracy. Just forget what happened, retcon it. Who cares, retcon it. So that's my opinion of Fear. You know, it ended how it went on. Crushingly disappointing, frustrating, and I just don't care. I am glad if you liked it though. What do you think? What did you think of Fear as a whole? What did you think of this season? What do you think about what they did with Troy and Tracy? Do you rate the final episode of Fear? Let me know what you think down below. Press the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.
At least you can rot on her feet forever for all I care.
Tengo años buscándote.